Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshushrunmilitanmena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Mukhaṁ karati vācālaṁ pangulangeti girimyat kripadamaham vande Shri Gurundinatarine Paramananda Mahadavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. Vandeham Shri Gurum Shutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam. Sadvaitam Savadudam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna. I thank everybody for visiting this holy place. I especially thank Varada Krsna Prabhu and his team of devotees who organized this very wonderful facility for everyone. And of course, my respects to His Holiness Prahlad Maharaj. I'm very honored to be among you devotees. This place is very unique for all the devotees. There's no devotee who has not visited this place. Any Rishi, any sage, any devotee, any Bhagavatar, any name that you may have heard, they all have visited this holy place. So that's the greatness of this. So some time back, some rishis wanted to know in detail about these glories of this holy place, and they requested Sriman Narayana to speak about it. And Sriman Narayana actually told Narada Muni to speak on this, the glories of this place. And there's a section in Naradiya Purana which mainly talks about the glories of this holy place. It's about 12 chapters. Of course, in many other literatures like Padma Purana, there are many other Samhitas. In many places, the reference of this place and pastimes of this place are also been recorded. So you all had a very wonderful darshan of Chalvanarayana, right? I think many of you are visiting for the first time here, right? How many of you are coming for the first time? Oh, most of you. So nice. Yes. We all know that Brahma created this universe, right? He created this universe under the instruction of Krishna. Krishna gave him the knowledge and he created. But before creation, Brahmaji asked the Lord that may he be present always with him so that he may not get into Maya. Right? We have forgotten Krishna and we have come here. But Brahma didn't want to do that. Though he is in the material world, he wanted to be with Krishna. Because he said, if I get involved in creation, I may forget you, I may think I am the doer, just like we have a small site, 30-40 site, or we build a house, we think this is my house, this is my place, we get so attached, right? So Brahma didn't want to do this mistake, in the beginning itself, that he didn't want to get into this ahankara, and he sought the presence of the Lord always with him. So knowing the heart of Brahmaji, for the first time, the Lord incarnated. We know many incarnations, right? Can you name few of them? Yeah, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha. Very recent is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? In Kali Yuga, the Lord is also in his holy name. The Lord is not different. So Krishna has taken many, many incarnations in different forms. The first incarnation that he took was Archa Vigraha, the incarnation of deity form. The deity is not different from the Lord, right? And the Lord also manifests in deity. So he manifested in the deity form so that Brahmaji could always worship him and have his association. So Brahmaji was worshipping the Moola deity which you saw, Chalvanarayana, in Brahmaloka for a very long time, with all the paraphernalia, with all very elaborate worship of the Lord. Later on, Brahmaji instructed the 4 Kumaras to go preach Krishna consciousness in his creation, right? He had created this 14 plant system, and everywhere living entities were there. And the main function is to preach so that we all living entities can go back to spiritual world. We come from Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, so our main is, Brahmaji wants us to go back to spiritual world. He is preaching always. So he requested his Manasa Putras, the 4 Kumaras. Of course, he has given this knowledge to everybody, the Sapta Rishis, all his creation he has given. And he requested the Kumaras to preach Krishna consciousness and bring back living entities back to spiritual world. And 4 Kumaras agreed for this proposal, but they had a request. They said, maybe if we can take the worshipable deity of yours, Chalvanarayana, then it would be very nice. Just like these days we have caravan, all right? We talk to them and we bring them. So like that, the whole entourage of the Lord and his paraphernalia, worshipable things with the Vimana, whatever, the whole thing, from Brahmaloka, Kumaras carried to this place. Because they saw this place, there were a lot of devotees here, rishis, bhagavatas were here. So they thought this is a very nice place to come and further Krishna consciousness. That's how Sriman Narayana, he came from Brahma's planet to this place. So he's the most oldest deity that you can find in the earth. He's the first deity in that sense. He's the first incarnation. You all heard of Tirupati, right? So very famous pastime of Balaji gets married with Padmavati, right? So for his marriage, Balaji comes to this place to give invitation. He considers him as his elder brother, and he came to give his invitation. Then you can imagine how old he is. So he's very, very, very old. That's why I said in the beginning, there's no devotee who has not visited him. There's no sage who has not visited and served him. So old and so glorious this Lord is. So now Kumaras came. They were preaching here for some time, and after some time they wanted to proceed further. But the devotees here, they requested that they may leave back the deity so that they can worship and they can go to spiritual world. And Kumar was very, very happy. They left the deities here for their worship. Then Brahma got to know about this. Now, Brahmaji thought that maybe Kumaras will bring back the deity, but now they know, now he knows that the deity is not going to come back. And again, Brahma goes to Lord Vishnu and he prays. You know? At that time, the Lord manifests from his heart another deity. That's the T.D. Chalva Pillai Sampath Kumara, what you saw as soon as you enter to the left side. So this, both the deities were not carved or made or nothing like that. It is Supreme Lord himself. The Moolavar, what you see, was the incarnation of the Lord for Brahma in the beginning of the creation. Later on, when this deity came here, again from the Lord's heart, the deity were manifest. And that's the Chalva Pillai that you see him. And Brahmaji was worshipping for a long time. And in one of the Tetra Yugas, Lord Ramachandra gave his family deity, Sri Ranganatha, to Vibhishana, right? Sri Rangam we go say, this deity. So at that time, Ramachandra was in a dilemma, what to do and things like that. So he had a role to play as an ideal king. So he was looking for the deity. Hare Krishna. So Lord Ramachandra, though he is the Supreme Lord himself, he was setting an example how we should also conduct. So deity worship is very important aspect in everybody's life. And Ramachandra wanted to emphasize on this. And that's when, knowing this, Brahma comes with this deity, Chalva Pillai, and gives it to Ramachandra. And Ramachandra would be worshipping. That's how his name is also called as Ramapriya, the small deities. Very, very dear to Lord Ramachandra. And Ramachandra would be worshipping. Even Hanuman would also be worshipping this deity. Wherever this deity is there, Hanuman would be there. It's like that. It's very special. Just behind the temple, there's a small deity of Hanuman. So he is always accompanying Chalva Pillai. It's like that. And after Ramachandra, his son, Kusha was worshipping this deity. And his daughter was Kanakamalini, who was married to Yadushekara. See, as we know, there are two dynasties. One is from sun, Surya, and another is Chandra Vamsha. So when Kanakamalini was married to this family, he was so very happy. Kusha was so very happy. Two Vamshas coming together is a very great this thing. He was not just satisfied giving whatever dowry kind of things. He didn't know what else to give. He was so very happy. And he even gave the deity of their worshipful family deity to, Yadushekara, along with Kanakamalini. That's how the deity was worshipped from both the dynasties, Surya Vamsha as well as Chandra Vamsha. And Yadushekara is a big lineage which comes down, and finally it was given to Krishna Balaram, who were in Dwarka worshipping this deity. Right. And we know that Balaram did not participate in Kurukshetra battle because there was some Gohatya dosha for him. There was a pastime which, it was considered that he had Gohatya dosha and he had to go for a pilgrim. Right? That's how he goes to all the places. Prabhupada mentions about this in Srimad Bhagavatam also. He goes to Tirupati, Kanchi, and he comes to this place also. The famous Vishnu temple Prabhupada mentions. So this is where Balaram comes. And here he does a lot of donation of cows. And he would be relieved from the sin, kind of. Of course, there's no sin for the Lord, just for this thing. Right? So Gohatya dosha would be finished here, and he would give a lot of cows for all the Brahmanas here. But one interesting thing he notices is the Moolavar, what he sees that by the time there was only Chalvanarayana, would resemble the deity that they were worshipping in Dwaraka. And Balaram goes back and informs about this deity here to Krishna. And of course, they foresee that the Dwarka will, it will go under ocean. So they will wanted to secure this deity also. That's how Krishna Balaram, they had a very special carrier. What is that? Vishnu's carrier. Yeah, Garuda. So they come in Garuda and establish this Chalvapillai in this place. All right, is this okay? Mulavar came because of Kumaras. Then the small deities came because of Krishna Balram. Right? So that's how this. And of course, now the Navratri is going on. We have Mysore very close by. And the Mysore Vadayars, actually, they are the last clan of Yadu Vamsha, they say. So Yadavas, Krishna's descendants, they are. So when Krishna Balram came, a small portion of the Yadavas also came in. And they were looking after all the worship and the services here in this place, it is said. That's how these deities manifested in this place. Okay, sure. So Chalvanarayana is here for only one purpose. That is to engage us in his service, give us this knowledge, and take us back home, back to Godhead. How many of you would like to go back to spiritual world? Hare Krishna. Thank you. The very name of this place is called Vaikunta Vardhana Kshetra. It has many, many names. One of the name is Vaikunta Vardhana Kshetra. Means this place will fill up Vaikunta. That means anybody visiting this place will get a place in Vaikunta. In fact, in Narada Purana, it is said that anybody coming close to this place, resonated to this place, the Lord thinks they have come to take shelter of me and he will grant them Parampada. Parampada means spiritual world. That is the glorious of this place. In fact, Sripad Ramanujacharya says, he has given many rules and regulations to be followed, right? And he says, if you cannot do any of these things, you just come, stay in this place, and spend your days here. Just by staying in this place, you will go back to spiritual world. He has not told this anywhere else. Only in this place, he has said this. So this is very, very unique and very special place. If we are interested to go back to spiritual world, and this is the place because Acharya has said it, it's like that, yes. Of course, this place is called in different names as Yadavadri, Vedadri, Yadushaila, Tirunarayanapura, many, many things according to past times, according to different times, different names were given to this place. Because the Yadus, they came to this place, this is also called as Yadavadri, Yadushaila, it's like that. Vedadri, because this place, the transcendental knowledge is always in a very subtle form. The transcendental knowledge is never lost. You just have to come, spend some time here, the knowledge will be revealed to you. It's just like you have some confusion, you have some doubts, right? You just have to come and spend a little time here, the knowledge will reveal to you. There's a famous example here in Sanskrit Academy also. There was one Rishi wanted to know how this universe looks like. Like it was. And Sripad Ramanujacharya writes about it. There's a mention in the Mahabharata also. It looks like a rabbit with two banyan leaves. It actually doesn't make any sense, but actually if you draw the rabbit and two leaves, and if you see upside down, actually it's like a world map. I have that photo, maybe I'll share it with people. It's very nice. So all these things, pastimes were here. And the Lord has very intimate relationship with the devotees who are living here, especially after Sripad Ramanuja Jai. Of course, you all know that Sripad Ramanujachari had to leave South India to this place, right? So, of course, this is it's very special Leela. When he comes to this place, there's a place called as Shaligrama, which is about 25 kilometers from here. That's where he comes. That's where he gets the news that Puratalva's eyes were, removed, and kind of he would be very sorry to hear that. And from there he comes to Tondanur, where you visited yesterday. So Tondanur is a place where Sripad Ramanujacharya stays. And knowing his presence, the local king, a Jain king, Bitti Raya, he comes, visits him. I hope you heard the story of that one, how the princess, right? So just by Ramanujacharya's presence, this princess was freed from this curse, and the king converted himself into Sri Vaishnava, and many of his ministers also. And of course, at that time, Sripad Ramanujacharya was running short of the Tirunama, what they put the clay, right? We have the tilak, so he was running short of the tilak. So in his dream, the Lord reveals that he is in this place. So we saw the bus stop here, right? Just beside the bus stop, there is a Garuda temple also. Long before, from Shvetadvipa, Garuda had bought clay from this Shvetadvipa and dropped it here. So that's how Sripad Ramanujacharya, in his dream, the Lord reveals, and he comes to this place looking for the Tirunama. After getting this, then again the Lord reveals that he is in this place covered with, anthill kind of thing. Because for many, many ages, this whole place was, it was ruined, and a lot of forest had grown and things like that. Nobody was here. But there was the Muslim kings had come, they looted everything. The whole village was completely finished. So it was in a very dilapidated condition. Everything was closed. The Leela of the Lord was closed. But the Lord wanted again to come back, and he revealed to Sripad Ramanujacharya. And he, along with his local, forest dwellers, he excavated this place with the water from the Kalyani and from the milk what they bought from their cows. So they excavated this temple, and he found this very beautiful form of Chalva Narayana. And to his surprise, he did not find the Archa Vigraha. And again, the Lord in his dream revealed that he is in Delhi. And Sripad Ramanujacharya, he walks from this place to Delhi when he meets Sultan. And Sultan is also very happy seeing such a very special guest, such a very unique person like Ramanujacharya is very impressed, and he requests what is the service that he can do. And Sripad Ramanujacharya asks that one of my deities, Chalvapilla, is with you, I need them. And the king, he says, okay, please come. And he opens a godon, a godon full of deities, but they're looted here, there, and things like that. And to his surprise, he will not find the deity, the Chalvapillai. Ramanujacharya was wondering what has happened, and when he was just about to leave, from the inner chambers, the king's daughter would be playing with a deity. She would be thinking that as a doll, and she would be playing with it. And Ramanujacharya asked for this deity, and she didn't want to spare this deity. And the king says, you have so many dolls to play around, but why do you want this one? And she says, this doll is very special. Whatever I say, he will listen. If I tell him to sleep, he will sleep. If I tell him to come, he'll come. If I tell him to dance, he will dance. If I tell him to eat, he will eat. There's nobody does like him. So I cannot give this deity or doll. And the king is in dilemma what to do. I need to give to the sadhu, and my daughter is not giving. Then he tells Sripad Ramanujacharya that I cannot help you. I mean, if you call, if the deity comes, you take. Then at that time, Sripad Ramanujacharya, he composes a very sweet song calling the Supreme Lord. And the Lord simply jumps and comes on his lap, just like a small, yes, 3-year-old kid, just when you call how he comes and sits on his lap. Chalva Pillai, he calls like. The relationship between the Lord and Ramanujacharya is like Nanda Baba and, Krishna. So here Raja, Ramanujacharya is like father, and Chalva Pillai, he is a son. So whatever Ramanujacharya says, he does. That's how Sripad Ramanujacharya brings this deity here. Every year they celebrate a festival called as Dilli Utsav when the deities came to this place. There are a lot of festivals in this place, many, many festivals. When Ramanuja came to this place, that day was one festival, this is one festival. And at that time, this princess, she could not tolerate the separation from the deity. She also comes behind this entourage of Ramanujacharya, and she would be here worshipping the Lord. It is said that she was also initiated by Sripad Ramanujacharya, and finally, of course, she is Lakshmi herself. There's no doubt about it. So if you had carefully watched, between the lotus feet of the Lord, there is Lakshmi's Vigraha here. I don't know how many of you, both Mulavar and Utsavar, if you very closely watch, you'll find Lakshmi deity there. It's like that. So actually they say this is the only place where you can do Sharanagati or Prapatti, because Lakshmi is there to engage us in the service of Krishna. Generally she is in the Vakshasthala of the Lord, but here she is at the lotus feet so that we can easily attain the service of the Lord. Only she can give us devotional service. Krishna doesn't know bhakti, only devotees know what bhakti is. So only in this place, this very unique place where she is readily available to engage us in the service of the Lord. Very, very special place. This place, I would not say this is non-different from Vaikuntha. This is Vaikuntha. As you all know, for Sri Vaishnavas, Vaikuntha Ekadashi is very big festival, right? You go to Sri Rangam, you go to anywhere else. But here in Melkote, they do not celebrate Vaikuntha Ekadashi. Why? Because this is Vaikuntha. In other places, you enter the Vaikuntha Vagilu, right? Then you come. But already you are in Vaikuntha. So this is Vaikuntha. He does not different. I mean, it is Vaikuntha. It's like that. And elsewhere in different temples, Sri Vaishnava's temples, you'll find Andal, right? Andal is Lakshmi herself who has come down to preach Krishna consciousness. But here you don't find Andal deity because this is Vaikuntha. She has no preaching business here. All right? Lakshmi herself is there serving the Lord. It's like that. So the glories of this place is unlimited as much as the Lord himself. Every tree in this place is considered to be Nitya Shauri. Means they are eternally liberated person. They can speak to you, kind of thing. They can reveal knowledge to you. It's like that. There are many, many caves here in this hill. This is a hill just like Govardhan Hill. So this is also a hill. It's about 14 kilometers circumference. Now during Kartik Navami, we do Govardhan Parikrama, right? When you go to, so like that, the Lord himself does Parikrama of this place. It's like that. So sacred places, this, it's like that. So Sripad Ramanujacharya, when he came to this place, he established the deity worship in a very unique way. he gave instructions in such a way that the deity would be served so very wonderfully. He gives an example, just like if there is a child in your house and if there is an open well in front of your house, how careful you should be about taking care of your child. Of course, we are living in cities, we don't know well and things like that, but if you are in villages, it's an open well. It's just, well is there. You just walk, you may fall in that. It's like that, right? So carefully you should be taking care of Chalva Narayana. So that's how we established. There were about 52 departmental heads just to worship the Lord. So very unique and so precise, with so many festivals, so many varieties of food. Today it is only known for Pongal, right? Melkote means it's known for its a special dish called as Pongal. Puliogre, sorry. But those days, so many varieties of food, so many varieties of flowers, garlands, so many varieties of dresses for the Lord, so many varieties of crowns, different crowns for the Lord. Just by seeing the festival, we know, dress of the Lord, we know what festival this is. On different festivals, different kinds of music is being played, different kinds of, he's a prince, he holds a sword in his hand, different kind of swords, different kind of dresses, different kinds of, musical instruments, all these are being played for the Lord. So elaborately, he arranged this worship. And this is the only place he lived for more than 12 years, continuously. Though he lived for about 120 years, actually his life, Sripad Ramanujacharya's lifespan was about 150 years, they say, in which 30 years he lived through Manval Mamuni. Actually, only because of Manvana Mamuni, we know who is Sripad Ramanujacharya. He gave the mantras and things like that. So Ramanujacharya was revealed because of Manvan Mamuni. So he lived for 120 years, Sripad Ramanujacharya, in which the longest period he stayed in this place. Whatever his desires were all fulfilled in this place. So we know he is Lakshmana, all right, Sripad Ramanujacharya. During Ramachandra's period, Ramachandra was supposed to be coronated the next day, but due to circumstances, he had to go to forest. All right. At that time, Lakshmana felt very intense pain that nobody could explain. That my Lord was supposed to be coronated today and tomorrow, and now he's just leaving this. And remembering that past time, Sripad Ramanujacharya, there's a festival called as Vairumudi. That's a Brahmotsavam. So on that day, Sripad Ramanujacharya actually he coronates the Lord with a very special crown from Vaikunta. That's another story about this crown. So remembering the pastime of coronation of Lord Ramachandra, our Sripad Ramanujacharya does this festival. So whatever desires that he had in previous life or this life, everything was fulfilled here. This place is a place of spiritual master, Guru Tattva. It's here. In Satya Yuga, this place was worshipped and taken care by Ananta. In Dwapara, Lord Balaram visited, he took care of this, he served here. In Chaitra Yuga, Lord Ramachandra's time, Lakshmana was worshipping, and of course in Kali Yuga, Sripad Ramanujacharya worshipped this place. So here is a very unique place where Mother Lakshmi is there and the spiritual master is also there, where they are intensely engaged in delivering the living entities back to spiritual world. It's like that. Without the mercy of spiritual master and Radharani, we cannot get Krishna. The same thing here, it's like that. So this is a wish-fulfilling place of even Sripad Ramanujacharya or Lakshmana or Shesha. It's like that. And what to speak of anyone else. That's a very unique position of this place. Every year during this Brahmotsava, they speak about the glories of this place, different pastimes, how this Brahmana was, delivered from this type of curse, how he went back to spiritual world, how, a group of dacoits came to loot this place during certain festival, and seeing all the Vaishnavas, they also became devotees, kind of so many pastimes are, when we read different Puranas, you get illustration of different stories. They were all, performed, or say they were all, happened in this place. There was one devotee, um, uh, he wanted to go visit Ganga, and with his family, he actually goes to the bank of Ganges, but he will not be able to see Ganges at all, though it is flowing in front of him. All his family people are able to see, but due to whatever reason, he's not able to see Ganga at all. So he cries very intensely, At that time, Mother Ganga herself comes, takes this person, and he dips her in Ganga there. And finally, when he gets up in this Kalyani. It's like that. And he understands this place is very special, and he stays on the banks of this place and he worships the Lord here. It's like that. So this Kalyani is also very special. Every year during Falguna month, Ganga comes and resides in this Kalyani. There's a deity of Bindu Madhava right next to the Kalyani. He's holding one drop of this water and he's telling, this one drop of water is equal to Ganges. It's like that. Every 12 years, Ganges comes and stays in this place for a long time, and the water also changes its color to white. Generally, you can see it is green, but once in 12 years, it changes its color to white. It's like that. So Kalyani is also there. And of course, that Kalyani was a place, as you know, when there was a fight between Hiranyaksha and Varahaswami, because Hiranyaksha had thrown the earth in the ocean from his suit, Varahaswami lifted the earth. This is the place where he lifted the earth, and the sweat water of Varahaswami is this water. It's like that. It's never dry. It is directly the water from his body. It's like that. And we find in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya visiting different places, right? South India, there's a mention of Pancha Kalyani, and this is that place where Lord Chaitanya visited also. It's like that. This place is known for two things. One is for going back to spiritual world. The other thing is you get transcendental knowledge. Both the things are very unique. There's a place called as, of course, this has 7 kshetras, Sapta kshetras. This is not only one holy place. There are 7 holy places in this place. Sapta kshetra and Ashta tirtha. There are 8 special tirthas. Of course, there are many tirthas here. Many kalyanis are there. But Ashta tirthas are very special. This Ashta tirtha, just like we have Hare Krishna mantra 16 syllable, Sri Vaishnavas, they have this Ashtakshari mantra. So each of these Kalyanis or the water pond represent each of these syllables. They're very big explanation about all these things. One is called as Padma Tirtha, and 4 Kumaras used to pluck the lotus from this pond and used to worship the Lord. And it is said anybody takes the lotus seed of this and wears it as Kantimala, right? When you go back to spiritual world, the devotees there would be waiting with a lotus garland to welcome you, kind of thing. And there is Palasha Tirtha. So this Palasha Tirtha is very special, where Vishwamitra Muni curses Vasishtha's son to lose their Brahminical qualities. And these children, they come and they take bath, they take dip in this tirtha, and they would be relieved from all their curse. So this is called as Pavana Tirtha also, Palasha Tirtha. And further down there is Darbha Tirtha. Darbha Tirtha is a place where this Darbha grass, Kusha grass is grown, And they say anybody holding this darba grass and leaves their body, they'll go back to spiritual world. On the banks of this Darbatirtha, the different system of worshipping the deity was explained. Just like we have Narada Pancharatra, right? There is different type of worship they hear in Tirupati, and different syllables. I mean, way of worshipping deities, agamas, everything were explained on this place. And there's one other place little down. It's called as um, Yadavi Tirtha, right? So on the banks of this, Yadu king, he did great penances, and there was a river that was flowing on this place, right? And there's another place called as Narayana Tirtha, and on the banks of this Narayana Tirtha, or it's called as Nayana a great Brahmana was delivered, and he went back to spiritual world. That instance is there. And there is one place called as Maitreya Tirtha, where for the first time Maitreya heard Vishnu Purana from Parashara Muni. It's also called as Parashara Tirtha also. So the first time this was. So like this, there are Ashta Tirthas. So the last Tirtha is Vaikunta Ganga. Vaikunta Ganga is a place where it's just very close by, just surrounding this hill, where when Vamanadeva lifted his lotus feet, when there was a piercing in the universe, few drops of water from the Viraja river directly fell in this place. The story what we know is Ganga goes to Swarga, and finally Bhagirath brings to earth, right? But here when he measured the universe, when he pierced the universe, at that time, few drops directly fell. At that time, Brahmaji and all the other demigods worshipped the lotus feet of the Lord with this water, and direct, that place is here, it's called as Vaikunta Ganga. So like this, there are Ashta Tirthas, and there are 7 Kshetras. The 7 Kshetras is one, right in front of the temple, you see a beautiful tree. It's a berry tree. Badri Vriksha. So that's called as this place is also called as Dakshina Badri. What happens? Narada Muni sees this place, and he tells his disciple Vyasadeva to check out this place. That's how Vyasadeva comes, and he writes about this glory. And he says that anybody visiting this place would get the same benefit of visiting Badrikashram. Maybe even if you go to Badrikashram, you'll not find the berry tree. But here you'll find the berry tree. It's like that. And that is one kshetra. The Kalyani, what you saw, on the one side you have Varaha Kshetra, Varaha Swami temple is there. On the other side it's called as Sitaranya, where Lakshmana built a Parnakutir for Mother Sita and Lord Ramachandra, the Parnakutir. It says anybody wearing the Tulsi mala from that place, they will also go back to spiritual. Everywhere, every square inch of this place, so many pastimes have happened that simply by doing this, you'll go back to spiritual world. It says it's like that. So that is one kshetra on the Kalyani, Varaha Kshetra. On the southern side, there is a very special tree called as Veda Ashwata, under which 5 Bhagavatas were delivered, or they got transcendental knowledge, like King Ambarisha, Bali, then Rukmangada, and Sukha. So like these 5 people got transcendental knowledge. That's also another kshetra. Pancha Bhagavata Mahakshetra it is called. And further down, as I told you, was the kshetra where Garudaji had dropped the clay from the Shvetadvipa. That is one kshetra. And down the Nayana Kshetra or the Narayana Tirtha, that is also another kshetra. So like this, there are 7 kshetras, 7 holy places, and Ashta Tirthas. To just give a brief of this place, but it's elaborate. Even till today, there are many caves around this place. As you climb up Yoga Narasimha. To the left side, you have Pandava Guha. Pandava stayed in this place. Even now, there are many, many guhas where great sages are living and they are doing, devotional service. It's very unique. They say that actually, if you just enter this caves, you're just there in the spiritual world. Of course, it's a very big topic, but still, just an information. So this is spiritual world. It's like that. There are many rahasyas, about this sacred things are being mentioned about this place. We can always be talking about this place. It's just like I can tell you how sweet is rasgulla, right? But when you eat only, you know what it is. So when you stay here and experience it is when you would know what is the speciality of this place. So that's why it's very important you people should stay in this place and experience this place. Then you'll understand, yes, this is not different from Vaikunta. This is wish-fulfilling place. You will get to know everything. It's like that. There's no doubt about it. And the festivals, what happens in the temple, everything is so nice. It's just not possible to forget the Lord even for a moment. So intense this place is. Sometimes the devotees ask, Prabhu, if I come to this place, what will I do here? And then I ask them the question, if you go back to spiritual world, what would you do there? Because they think I should be doing something here, this, that, my business, my something and things like that, right? Whatever you are going to do there in Vaikuntha, same thing you can do here. It's like that. The service of the flowers, Pushpa Kainkarya, is very special. There are different kinds of flowers, different seasons. Just because of this flower, the many living entities are drawn to this place. There's a big science. There was a great philosopher, professor who was staying here. He was telling about all these flowers, the greatness of the flowers, what flower the Lord likes at what time, and all this. There's a big science behind the flowers. Just serving the Lord with the flowers and things like that. It's completely, you just cannot think of anything else other than the Lord in this place. It's so very, very special. Okay. Knowing this place as very special, Prahlad Maharaj, after losing his father, he goes for Tirtha Yatra. So he comes to this place also. And one fine day, when he finishes his Sandhya Vandana, he sees his Shaligram Shila would be manifested as Yoga Narasimha. So, yes, just like Radha Raman deities we have in Vrindavan. So like that, they were So Lord appeared so that to console Prahlad. Prahlad is just a 5-year-old kid. So he had lost his father. So he's in separation, distress. So Yoga Narasimha is just like, he has like Jagannath eyes, very bright eyes, that we cannot miss his mercy. He's sitting in a yoga posture, very coolly, and he's just saying, don't worry, I'm there to take care of you. It's like that. So Yoga Narasimha, in his most merciful form, he is here to satisfy the devotees and especially to protect the devotees, to take care of the devotees. And Chalvanarayan is also standing like this, right? He's giving. They say there's one sloka in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharma Pariteja Mamekam Sharanam Raja. The first line is in Tirupati. He's saying, you surrender to me. So here it's not like that. The second half, what is that? Aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshayami masucha. Don't worry, I'll free you from all sin. I will give you liberation. Krishna here is only saying this. We don't want to do anything. Don't worry, I am there. He is giving Abhaya for us. It's like that. So that's what Ramanuja said. You just come, put up a small hut. Not a palace, not a building. Just a hut and stay here. Simple life. You'll go back to spiritual world. It's like that. Of course, the glories of this place is unlimited. As I told you, I've got to be here and experience it. Unless you would like to ask anything.
She's asking, is there a connection between Chilkuru Balaji in Hyderabad and this deity? Because Lakshmi Devi is there also at the lotus feet, and here also at the lotus feet.
I don't know much about Chinkuri Balaji.
I only know Chinkur Balaji is called Visa
Visa Balaji. Visa to America, here you will get visa to spiritual world.
Maybe she grants visa to the spiritual world. Chinkur Balaji is to, I don't know what to call America these days.
Is Pancha Kalyani we are saying, right? Pancha means 5. So is there any significance of 5 there?
There's a sloka which the Sri Vaishnavas recite saying that is a Pancha Kalyani kind of thing. I don't know much about it. But in this Kalyani, there are 4 places, 5 places. The 5th place is where Varaha Swami lifted the earth. So that's very, very deep. So maybe there are wells there inside, that's all they call it. I got to. Yes.
I have a few questions. What is the meaning of Chelva in the local language? I didn't understand.
Chelva means beautiful,
Oh, okay.
charming, who attracts everybody. You cannot remove your eyes from seeing him. He's so beautiful, he's enchanting. He's just like that.
Okay. And then I'm curious, Yoga Nishinga, we see forms of Yoga Nishinga. We don't see, at least I haven't seen, other forms of the Lord in a yoga posture. I'm just curious, what is the history of the form of Nishingadev that takes this yoga mudra?
Yoga means basically to link up, right? So the Lord, Yoga Mudra, is there just to console us. Don't worry, we are always worried with so many things. You just connect with me, I'm there to take care of you. Be free from all fears and concerns. It's like that. Just come to my shelter.
That's the explanation.
Yes.
That's actually
So Prabhu was saying that in Ahobalam, there are Nava Narsimhas are there, and one of them is Yoga Narsimha. So it is said that he explained about yoga to Prahlad Maharaj, and he's called as yoga. It's a very mystical things. There are different aspects to why yoga and things like that. So right below Yoga Narsimha, there's a very big empty space where Prahlad used to sit and do his austerities. There's a guha, there's a cave inside where you can come. Right below Narsimhadev is the place where he used to sit and here in this place. Now they are open since past few months. You can go visit and see. It's a very nice, very serene, very nice place. So it's a very mystical thing. The whole place is mystical, and the Lord is there to give everything, whatever that we all want. It's like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the beautiful explanations. 2 questions. First one, the Ranganath deity darshan that we had yesterday, the temple pujari was saying that is the first deity, like the oldest deity from Satyug time, and Gautam Maharishi was involved in. And then the Yog Nrsimha deity is also said to be around the same time, 35 lakh years back. Is that correct? Like they both from the same time?
In Srirangpatna, the Narasimha Swami temple?
Yes.
Yes.
And this one, the Yog Nrsimha that's close to here, is also from the same time?
No, these deities are very, very old. They are from the creation, the first creation. The deities are manifested, say this cycle of Satya, Dwapar, Tetra is just not one. Many, many times it has happened. So one of them, one of the cycles is Ranganatha has come and Gautama is installed. That's Adi Ranga. Then you have Madhya Ranga and Antya Ranga. All of them are on the banks of Kaveri. All of them are like an island. Now Kaveri, she divides herself. Actually, she's embracing the Lord. It's like that. All the three of them are, islands kind of thing. So much, much before, as I told you in the beginning of the creation, this deity was manifest. And later on, the four Kumaras, they bought. So we don't know which Satya Yoga, this Satya Yoga, the last Satya Yoga, or which Satya Yoga, kind of thing. So as of we know, he's the most oldest of all. It's like that, much before than Tirupati Balaji, also much before than anybody else. It's like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much. I just want to understand your mood as a Gauda Vaishnava. How are you aligning your mood staying in this dham? If you can give us some insights, and if we have to stay here, how should we align our mood as well?
Hare Krishna. Actually, whatever pastimes and things that you have heard, even in Gaudiya Vaishnavism or this or that, everything is same. There's no non-different. Just like, for example, during Rath Yatra in Jagannath, right? When he has to come back, Mother Lakshmi is very angry. At that time, Balram goes in front, and that's how Jagannath also sneaks inside, right? I hope you know this pastime. So the same pastime is also here enacted. Chalvapilla, he goes out for hunting, and Lakshmi is very angry. He has not come back. At that time, Sripad Ramanujacharya was Lakshmana, right? Balaram. He comes in front, and that's how, Chalvapilla or Krishna seeks inside. Whatever stories that you have heard elsewhere, everything is here. Krishna is there, both Sri Devi, Bhudevi, Rukmini and Satyabhama. Radharani is Lakshmi. Whatever pastimes that we know, everything is here. There's no difference at all. It's like that. Sripad Ramanujacharya, whatever is given, the same thing Srila Prabhupada has given. There's no difference. Just like somebody was telling me some time back, it's there in the Leelamrita also that Prabhupada was in Bombay, and one Pujari, Sampath Kumar from Bangalore, he flew and told Prabhupada that while you are there, you should not have the murti of yours that was in Vrindavan, because you would get a lot of sin and things like that. I don't know if you have read that pastime. It's there in Leelamrita. And Prabhupada said, I know this. Generally what happens is, they don't have the murti before, the person. After the person leaves, only they have the murti, right? This was something new many people were telling. It's not true. When Sripad Ramanujacharya was here, this deity, what you see, Ramanujacharya's deity, he himself manifested the deity. He concentrated all his energies, his presence in this deity. And devotees asked, how do we know you are there in this deity? At that time, the deity spoke, this, I am here, you know it. He spoke. Non-different from me is this, the murti of mine, Ramanujacharya showed. So whatever Prabhupada has done is done by Ramanujacharya. There's nothing. Just like we talk about, traveling Sankirtan parties, temple on wheels, right? This is not something new Prabhupada started. It's already Kumaras. They bought this deity from there to here, travel Sankirtan parties with the deities. So we see everything is same. Due to the time, we may not understand many things. We don't know the pastimes and things like that. But there's no difference at all. There's no difference at all. They are chanting Krishna's name, the same Supreme Lord. It's like that. Krishna Balaram, they have come here. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come here. Everything is same as far as I understand. There's nothing different.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, to your left.
Oh, yes, sir.
Just 3 quick questions. Thank you for the wonderful explanation. One is, in the temple premises, where exactly is Ramanujacharya's deity? Where exactly is that?
As soon as you enter to the right side,
Okay, the small ones.
yeah, there's Utsava Vigraha, and behind that you will see his own form. He's sitting in this mudra.
The part where they were distributing the Mahaprasad, the deity Mahaprasad.
Yes.
So in the right corner,
Yes.
black stone deity.
Yes.
And there were probably some more deities.
Yes, that side is Gajendra Moksha, there's one deity is there, and this side is another Acharya, Pilalokachar, he is there. And there's another a shrine full of all the Alvars and Acharyas.
Okay.
Mostly it is closed. There's another Sudarshana's deity is also there.
Right.
You know, once in a, and Sripad Ramanujacharya's gurus. Next to Sripad Ramanujacharya's is Purat Alvar's
Okay.
deity is there. Many are there.
And second question is probably there is also this Amrit, the drop of Amrit fell in this area and the Kund is there. Is it, can you explain that? The specific Kund that is at the lotus feet of Yoga Narasimha, probably the drop of Amrit fell, and can you explain about the Kund?
I mean, that Amrit fell, that is something about, say, after Mysore, there's a place called Himmat Gopala. So that pastime is there, what I know about it. Here, it's not Amrit, it's Garudaji himself brought the white clay here, and this Kunda is basically the sweat water of Vara Swami. It's directly the sweat water. Huh? Virajani river that I told about, the Vaikunta Ganga, from Vaikunta, the Ganges directly comes to this place. So that is this one.
The Kund that we see from upstairs, like from the hill of Yoga Narasimha, that Kund, that's the Kund where Ganges directly appears?
No. This is about 1.5 kilometers from here. Vaikunta Ganga. That's different.
It's called as Vaikuntha?
Vaikunta Ganga.
Vaikuntha Ganga. Okay. Yeah. And my last question is with respect to what Guru Maharaj was mentioning about the mood of this place. And since Ramanujacharya has stayed for around 12 years, so could you also please elaborate on that? Thank you.
The mood is very merciful, and the rules and regulations are also very easily being performed here in this place. In some places, rules and regulations are difficult to follow, but the whole place here, because Guru is there, his influence is so much that the rules and regulations becomes very easy to follow, and it just becomes spontaneous for you to do devotional service. It's like that. As I told you, Sripad Ramanujacharya, all his desires were fulfilled. Because when he was in Sri Rangam, there were already certain systems were established. He could not do much. But here, he broke everything, and whatever he wanted to do, he introduced everything. It was like that. Just like Prabhupada, he was just very merciful. Just like what is, New York, the top scenes were for Prabhupada, for us, this is a place for Ramanujacharya. He had so much difficulty, and he came here, and then, kind of thing, it's expanded. So very, it's like that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for this very nectarian katha. I am very sure audience would want to hear something more from him. But now, two things. Firstly, after this nectarian katha, we will now hear the final instructions of Sripad Ramanujacharya from Varada Krsna Prabhu. And Ananda Gauranga Prabhu is having this low outpost here, to reach here in this Melkote area. He has he's having a small center, and they're trying to reach out to all the local devotees to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If any of you feel inspired after this class, you can please meet him. If you'd like to support him or give him some dakshina or support him in any other way, please do reach out to him, and I'm sure Srila Prabhupada and Krishna will be very pleased with it. So now let's hear more from Varada Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananshalakhya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshtarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Shri Sampat Kumar Chalva Pillai Chalva Narayana Ki Jai Shri Shri Yoga Narsimha Bhagavan Ki Jai Melkote Dham Ki Jai Shripad Ramanuja Charya Ki Jai Mukam Karoti Machalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Krupatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. At the outset, I want to thank my dear friend, colleague, Ananda Gauranga Prabhu. It was a very revealing class session. Very grateful to him. Seems like he has done a very detailed study of the glory of this place. I think what is more important that he has not just katha and different historical incidents, but I think he has also absorbed the rich mood of this place and what should be the mood of the devotees who come and visit this place. So that I think very grateful to him. I'm also grateful to Shamkund Prabhu and all the other organizers of this yatra, giving me a chance to spend some time with you all here. I'm very grateful to you for that. So, the great Ramanujacharya lived here, as you all know, for 12 years. He fled from Srirangam, Kanchipuram, Srirangam, because he was being persecuted there. He had to take some disguise or something and then come here. And this was already a very sacred place because there was some temples here already. Yoga Narasimha was there. Not very far from here, we have Tondanur Nambinarayana temple and another Narsingha temple there. So it was already a holy pilgrimage place. So he came and took shelter here. And during that time, many local people, including the king of that time, took his shelter and became Vaishnavas. And he had 74 principal disciples. And all of them were called Simhasanadipatis. Now it is said that many of them were traveling with him wherever he would go. And it seemed like quite a few of them were here also. They were called Simhasanadipatis. And I think most of them, all of them were Grihastha devotees. I remember one time when I was in Mayapur, my guru, His Holiness Japataka Maharaj, was having lunch, and then I had walked into the room and I was sitting in one corner and waiting for him to finish his lunch so I could talk to him. So he was having his lunch, and after some time he paused and he looked at me and he called me, asked me to come closer. I went closer to him and he told me that kind of, you've lived with me long enough. You've learned everything that you have to learn. I think you should go now. You should go. And he would send them to different places in different directions. And you should go and preach there. You should go and set up a Vaishnava mutt, monastery. So that's how we did. And then they all would just, kind of pack up and leave as soon as they got a command from their guru. And then he said that we have many Grihastha disciples in ISKCON. Many. Most of them, by the way, are Grihastha disciples. And then he said something very... I think only acharyas and people of devotees, Mahabhagavata devotees of that caliber can speak like that. He said, I'd like all the Grihastha disciples in ISKCON to be trained to be able to do like that. I was like, I didn't know how to react. He said, I would like all the Grihastha disciples of ISKCON, especially my disciples, he said, Grihastha disciples, to be trained to be able to do that. I mean, I didn't know how to react. I just kind of mumbled something saying, are you sure you want them to do that? Or something like that, I said. But he said that. He looked at me actually, he was very serious and grave at that point of time when he said that. Then I started meditating on that whole thing because he told me this. And I said, look, those days were not the days of internet or something. If the guru calls you and tells you something like this, saying, I think you've stayed with me long enough, you've learned all that I want to teach you, I think you're qualified, I want you to go and set up a mutt somewhere. And that's how there are Ramanujacharya mutts or Shivaishna mutts in different parts of the country, all over the country practically. They would just walk and go in that particular direction. That's probably the last time you see your guru. That's probably the last time you see your guru. And you come there the next day to see him with all your belongings tied up in what, I don't know what, those days how they would carry. Obviously, they would just tie them all together, tie them up together. He, his wife, his kids, the family would come, pay obeisances, probably to the last time that they would see their guru, take his instructions, and just walk away. Walk away. And go to that particular city, whatever he mentioned, and try and set up a mutt there, try and set up an ashram there, and preach. And the only thing they carried is the teaching of their guru, Ramanujacharya. And what drove them is their sense of loyalty, sense of gratitude, sense of appreciation, and sincerity. I guess you can think of all these kind of words and pack them all together and say, that's what drove them. They just walked off. And he had that kind of a faith, he had that kind of a confidence, and they would just carry that, this is my Guru Agya, and there's no such thing as not doing it. There's nothing, such a thing doesn't exist in their life. There's no such thing as not doing it. They would just go out and do it. So that's the kind of stature, that is the kind of, empowerment that Ramanujacharya, Sripada Ramanujacharya had. Of course, we know he's an empowered incarnation of Lakshmana or Balaram himself, Adishesha. So that was, and here in modern day, Prabhupada would do this to his disciples, like Ananda Gauranga Prabhu just mentioned that. You can see in many ways Prabhupada doing what the great Sripada Ramanujacharya did. So he would also dispatch his disciples to different cities in the world and ask them to go and set up a center there. But it's quite different. You could always write a letter, you could get a reply back from Prabhupada, you could meet him, Prabhupada would travel also. But those days, there was no such hope or guarantee that they would ever be able to have darshan of his lotus feet again. So then I was, the only thing that struck me was that only somebody who is surrendered to his guru to that degree can speak like this with confidence. I mean, this level of surrender you can see in Prabhupada with respect to his guru and all his principal disciples with respect to the kind of faith they had on Prabhupada. I mean, that includes so many. I mean, there is the Radhanath Swami, the Gopal Krishna Maharaj, there is Bhakticharya Swami, there's Rompad Swami, there's Japataka Swami. There's so many of them, Bhanu Swami. Just they clung on to one single instruction or a set of instructions, and then that was it. That was their life. That was their rest of their life was built around trying to execute that instruction. So he was able to command that level of loyalty and sincerity from his disciples. So before he passes away, the great Ramanujacharya, I mean, see, other thing also that stands out from this example is how important, or what is the position of dedication to a guru, dedication to your spiritual master's vision, plan, idea, and to what extent of surrender is okay. I mean, you can be surrendered to your spiritual master to the maximum extent that you can even think of. I mean, that would also be less, actually speaking. Because Prabhupada used to say you could never repay your debt to your spiritual master. You can never repay your debt to the spiritual master. So they would always, drive their disciples to become exemplary preachers. Go out and preach, bring more people into Krishna consciousness, under the shelter of Krishna, under the shelter of Bhagavad Gita, under the shelter of bhakti process. So they always want people to dedicate themselves to that kind of a life. Like one time, Bhanu Maharaj was telling, we were talking to him, His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj was saying that Prabhupada was traveling from Chandigarh to Haridwar by train and he stopped en route Delhi. So Prabhupada had written, many people had written from Delhi to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada had replied that I'll be transiting through Delhi in this train. And Srila Prabhupada, many of them came to the railway station, brought garlands and fruits and to honor Prabhupada. So one of them insisted that, Delhi is the capital of India. How can you ignore Delhi? You should set up something here. You should preach something here. You should do something here. I will help. All this is happening in the railway station, maybe a 15 or a 20-minute stop in Delhi station, maybe half an hour. So they're all pleading with Prabhupada, and one of them volunteered. He said, I'll give a part of my house. They can even stay there. And Prabhupada hears them and looks at them, and they're so emotionally pleading with Prabhupada. So many disciples you have. Delhi. Oh. So Prabhupada looks at his disciples and they all begin to understand that Prabhupada is asking them, without speaking as much, that are you willing, is anybody willing to volunteer to get off the train here in Delhi? Then Prabhupada told 2-3 of them, disciples, and told them that, I think I would like you to get off the train here, go with him, and try your best, try doing something in Delhi. Whatever they're saying about Delhi is true. It's such an important place. We should have a presence here. So a few people got down and went with this gentleman, who I think eventually became a life member or something. They've never met before. 15 or 20-minute meeting, and they were talking to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was Prabhupada was convinced, and they got off the train. See, please understand that in our mood, in our mission, that it is important that we start seriously thinking, what more can I do from my side to advance the cause of the mission of my spiritual master. What else can I do? What more can I do? This should be a constant meditation. So here it is, Ramanujacharya, when towards the end of his life, it is said that he announced that I think I've finished, I'm returning back and I've finished my whatever I wanted to do, I've achieved. I want to go back. And then the disciples break down and cry. And Ramanujacharya says, all right, I'll extend my stay by 3 more days. And then Ramanujacharya said, during this interim period, you make sure all my disciples from wherever they are, they come back, they rush back here so that I can meet him. This happens in Srirangam. So the word is sent around, and practically all his senior disciples, all of them come back to meet him, the great Sripad Ramanujacharya. And then Ramanujacharya instructs them. So among the Sri Vaishnavas, these final instructions given by Ramanujacharya are very, very important. They give it a very prime position. He gave 82. They have analyzed the final instructions of Ramanuja. Many acharyas have subsequently commented, many Vaishnava scholars have also commented on the final 82 teachings of Ramanuja. We'll just go through one or two, a few of them, because I think we are running out of time also. So one of the things that Ramanujacharya mentions is, the glories of the preceptors and the great devotees should be remembered before any other work is begun. In other words, like we chant the pranam mantra of our Guru, we chant Om Ajnana Timirandasya, we worship the Guru, we glorify the Guru, we chant Mukam Karoti, all these mantras we chant. So he said, they should be appreciated, they should be glorified, their contribution in our life should be lovingly acknowledged as many times as possible in the day, with as much devotion and attention as possible. As many times with as much devotion, with as much intensity. This is not just etiquette, because all that we are made up of is the mercy of our Guru. Merciful glance of our Guru that is our real wealth. So the great Ramanujacharya is confirming, he said, before you begin any work. In other words, before you begin anything, you get up in the morning, first thing you do this. Second, before you do anything, you do this. Which means practically all through the day, you carry that mood of gratitude, appreciation, sincerity, surrender to your Guru in your heart. He said, before you start doing anything else, before you start doing anything, you first think about that. So he's saying, glories of preceptors and great devotees also. Not just of your Guru. Your Guru's associates, everybody practically, whoever has in any way contributed to the mission of Krishna or the previous acharyas. You think about them. And then, a part of the day should be set aside for praising and contemplating upon the glory of one's own preceptor. That means a portion of the day should be set aside to glorify your Guru. You see, acharyas say that is a foundational relationship of an aspiring devotee. The foundational relationship is the relationship between a devotee and his Guru. That is the foundation for anything else in life. So, here Ramanujacharya is saying, a part of your day should be dedicated, should be reserved, should be set aside for meditating on the glories of your Guru, his mission, his dedication, his sincerity, his vision, etc., and how you can serve, in what way you can serve your Guru's mission. I'm repeating it. A part of the day should be set aside for praising, appreciating also, and contemplating. Okay, then he says, a part of the day should be set aside for reciting, studying, and contemplating the works of, he says Nammalvar, but we can take it as works of the previous acharyas and other alvars, which means we can take it as works of the previous acharyas, our acharya, previous acharya, and great saintly people. So a part of the day should be set aside for reading, studying, contemplating. Reciting, studying, and contemplating on the works of the previous acharyas. So basically, Ramanujacharya is the Sripad Ramanuja is basically resetting our whole lifestyle. He says, please, this is not an ordinary gift you have received from your guru or from the previous acharyas. Like, let's say the works of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, or the works of Jiva Goswami, or the works of Prabhupada himself. I mean, what would be our life without any of these? So, please acknowledge the value of these great gifts we have received in our life. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya. It's taken me from darkness to light, from ignorance to bliss, from fear to, feeling of secure, feeling of being protected, from misery to relief. It's the Guru who has given us the way, Guru who has shown us the path. So how can we not acknowledge that, or how can we not glorify and remember? So Ramanujacharya, the first 3 instructions is all about glorify your Guru, glorify previous acharyas, glorify the devotees, glorify their works, and dedicate some part of your time in simply thinking of the glories of your Guru. So first 3 instructions are so critical, so nice. Then the great Ramanujacharya says, service to one's acharya and any other devotee, Bhagavatas, should be on par. One should serve every devotee as one would serve the personal acharya. This is another very, very profound instruction. Prabhupada also says, in our scripture it is said that if we think that only Krishna I'll worship, only my Guru I'll worship, that's some kind of a neophyte, fanatic, whatever attitude. You should understand that you don't look at your Guru in isolation, in a standalone mode. No, your Guru is a part of a great parampara, great institution, a great gift of Krishna to mankind. Is a part of that whole, that chain, disciplic chain of succession. He's part of that. So don't separate your Guru from the branch that he belongs to. So learn to appreciate. So this calls for some kind of a what can I say? Opposite to becoming sectarian. You see, you can, and one is expected to glorify your Guru, because a Guru is ultimately, you glorify him because he takes responsibility to take you back to Krishna. So in that sense, your Guru is more important than your Guru's god brothers are, definitely, because he's taking your responsibility. But it's like having a father and having uncles. Now, don't say, my father is the only person I'll care for, but my uncles don't matter to me. It doesn't work like that. So you please understand that your father is a part of a family where there are uncles, cousins, etc. And all of them together are your family. All of them together are your family. So the great Ramanujacharya wanted, because he knew that after his time, there will be many Simhasanadipatis, many gurus. The self-effulgent, brilliant acharya, like Sripad Ramanujacharya, like Srila Prabhupada, they appear once in a while. This doesn't happen too often. This happens, I don't know, once in, I don't know how many millions of years or whatever. It doesn't happen very often. So after his time, there will be many gurus. So we can't become sectarian. We can't say, my Guru is all that matters to me, and others, I don't know, I don't care so much. Yeah, Guru, like your father, is important because he has taken personal responsibility to deliver. Like your father has taken personal, but then your father is a part of a family. There are others. And by the way, each one of them have a role to play. And in our parampara, in the parampara we belong to, we see that over a period of time, different senior, let's say guru, acharyas or whoever, have different, distinct mood, little different from the other. So from each one of them, there's something that you can learn. There's something that we can imbibe, learn, appreciate, glorify, and thank them for being, being what they are. So there's so much variety. So we can't become sectarian. That would be a risk, a great risk. The great Ramanuja foresaw this during his time. He said, no, you can't just treat only a guru. You should treat his associates also equally. He goes to the extent of saying there can't be any discrimination at all. They should be treated on par. Then one should have faith and reverence for the teachings of all the previous acharyas. I mean, it's almost that all his teachings are relevant even today. One should have respect for all teachings of all the previous acharyas. Of course, we should recognize that there is a little bit of a difference between our understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth from that of the Ramanujacharya Parampara. There are certain differences, but we would say, fundamentally, they are they are one and the same. But within your parampara also, we should learn to respect the teachings of all the previous acharyas. But of course, Prabhupada mentioned, and there's a caveat within ISKCON that, if you're getting confused, then understand the teachings of the previous acharyas or your gurus, god brothers, etc. If you're confused, then understand them through the instructions of your guru. Through the instructions of your guru. These are very unifying kind of teachings. Ramanujacharya, please understand, he's about to leave, and it's at that point of time he's sharing these instructions, and he's telling his disciples that this is what I would expect of all of you. Actually, it goes on, the list goes on. I don't know, because it's already 2:30. You people must be hungry. Like that, there are many more teachings of the great Sripada Ramanujacharya. And we have to understand, see, basically, in our parampara, we believe that the only way we can possibly try to repay what we have gained is by becoming more focused on preaching. Now, what is the difference between sadhana and preaching? Everything else that we do is for our benefit. We chant 16 rounds, we take prasad, we offer arati at home, etc. But only when our mind starts thinking, how can I connect more people to Krishna? How can I bring more people? How can I get more people to listen to Bhagavatam? Or how can I get more people beyond my family, my colleagues, my friends, my relatives, whomever I meet or whatever? How can I connect them to Krishna? So that's when it becomes preaching. Otherwise, sadhana is basically for ourselves. We cannot say, I'm chanting 16 rounds nicely, and so that's more or less for ourselves, for our benefit, our self-preservation, for ourselves. But what is it that you're offering to your guru? Yes, of course, your guru wants you to be strong. There's no doubt about it. There's no argument about it. There's no two-side opinions about it. But then, where is your contribution? Our contribution is there only when we go out of the way and plan, contemplate, think how we can connect more people to this parampara of Lord Chaitanya. It could be as simple as distributing prasadam, trying to distribute books, inviting them home for a kirtan session. But that should be a constant contemplation. How can I bring more people, connect them to Krishna? That would possibly be the best takeaway from a visit to a place like Melkote. You take some prasadam from here and you distribute to your relatives, your colleagues, and somehow or other connect them to Krishna, connect them to Prabhupada. So that would be a greatest way of showing your gratitude to the Guru Parampara. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So as I can see, all of you are grastas. Shall we do a roll call and see how many of you are ready to do what Ramanujacharya told all his grastas to do? Think about it. I'm not going to do that now. Think about it. What level we are willing to go to serve our Guru. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki. Somehow we never had the fortune to have His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj in our yatras, but today we saw his manifestation through both of the wonderful disciples here. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki. Very grateful to His Grace Varada Krsna Prabhu, who is Narsimha Giridhari Temple's Bangalore's Narsimha Giridhari Temple's president, and his colleague and a very close friend, and serving and cooperatively with him, His Grace Ananda Gauranga Prabhu, who is the Melkote Temple president. Listening to Ananda Gauranga Prabhu, we felt that the merciful mood of this place is what you are manifesting. So very grateful to you, Prabhu. And Varada Krsna Prabhu, Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj had always been focused on taking Srila Prabhupada's moment ahead and preaching, and that's what finally you ended up with. And especially what Guru Maharaj was appreciating in the morning, that whoever, when you allow whoever to do the kirtan, you make sure that they have chant at least 8 rounds, even if they are kids. So that's very, very unique. We have learned so much from both of you, and we request both of your presence more in our yatras to give us association. Thank you very much. Let's chant 3 times a big Hari Bol to express our gratitude to both of you. Thank you so much. We have few logistic announcements from His Grace Padmanabha Prabhu for tomorrow and today.
Hare Krishna.